What is up, you guys? Damn, what a game. I had a feeling Auburn was going to win that one, but I didn't even think they were going to win it by that much. I think my prediction was 91-81 is what I put on the screen before we started here, just to kind of put some placements, on the next page. But, wow, 99. And Blake, the walk-on, had a chance to put him up to a hundo. And he missed the free throw. Damn it. Anyway, guys, how y'all doing? Thanks for tuning in to The Brain Drain. I am Jay Tate, as you can see right here. Well, over there. Yeah, whatever. I am the publisher/Commodore at auburnsports.com. And I am the publisher of a site that is full of very happy subscribers tonight. The Auburn Tigers victorious over Alabama by a score of 99-81. A game that Auburn, I guess that game was a little bit tight, maybe with 4 minutes to go in the first half, something like that. And then Auburn went on a 16-2 run to finish out the half. Got up, I think that put him up by 14. And then the second half, I think it got as close as 12 at one point. And then, hell, I should take my tie, unbutton it. I don't know. Since we standing on business. What's up, Tim? Yeah, that game got down to 12, and then Auburn just kind of pushed it back out and turned into a free throw shooting contest. Auburn was 40 of 50 from the free throw line tonight, which is insane. I don't remember a situation where Auburn shot that many free throws in a game. And it's great because this particular Auburn team is very good at free throw shooting, and they show up there every single game. And they showed up tonight, too. Again, 40 of 50 from the free throw line. And that's a big, big win for the Auburn Tigers. They came into that game tied with South Carolina in second place in the SEC, with Alabama one game ahead. South Carolina won, Auburn won, Alabama lost. So now you got a three-way tie up top at 8-2. And you start looking at that schedule a little bit and thinking, okay, win, loss, win, loss. You got three really big games coming up here: Florida, South Carolina, Kentucky, all of them top half SEC teams, two of them inside Nev. So that's a good thing for the Auburn Tigers. But, man, a very thorough win tonight, I think. You look at it, ball handling was pretty good. Rebounding, they were +7 in rebounding. Kind of beat Alabama at their own game. You think about Alabama being such a fast-tempo offensive team and a very good offensive team. And if you think about it, 81 points, they're probably okay with that many points, but giving up 99, they probably aren't very stoked about that. They're not a great defensive team. And Auburn, I think, just ran them out in a way. I think they played Alabama's game and beat them at Alabama's game. Pushed it faster, were better in transition, +18 fast break points tonight. And, huge, just kind of a facial, the way that Auburn went about winning this basketball game. And I think their chances, honestly, Alabama's chances were out when Grant Nelson fouled out. And he fouled out with a while to go. I want to say 7 minutes to go maybe. He picked up two quick ones there early in the second half, and I knew that was going to put him on edge. And I feel like it's really him and Mark Sears when they're playing Auburn anyway. It's about all they got. One kid can shoot threes, but he's got to get fed the ball. Rylan Griffin. Once Grant Nelson goes out, that's a wrap. That's it. And they wanted to go into a free throw shooting contest. And honestly, in years past, that would have been a good way to mess with Auburn. But these days, the Auburn Tigers are pretty dang good shooting the free throws. So let's take a look at this box score. I've got an old one up here still, but I've got the new one sitting right here. And those are the numbers for tonight. Again, 99 points looks kind of weird, right? I think Toto sang a song called 99 back in about 82, 83. Anyway, 40 of 50 from the line, guys. Good golly, Miss Molly. 28 fouls on Auburn, 33 on Alabama. I know there's some people in the bunker saying, God, when are we going to get a call? I'm like, bro, they're calling it pretty even, in my opinion. They were letting them play a lot in the first half. Second half, it got a little tighter, and I think both teams adjusted pretty well. JAYLIN Williams, what do you want to say? 26 points. And I like the way he played. I like the way that he efforted for his shots tonight. There was you think about that Ole Miss game on the weekend. 15 of Auburn's first 22 shots in that Ole Miss game were from three. They weren't hot. They played themselves behind in that game. BP and Burgos sat them down and said, this is not how we're going to do this. They focused more in the second half on getting good 2-point shooting, good shots. Because, look, JOHNI and JAYLIN and Chad to some degree can just sizzle people to death from 2-point range. They can get shots within 12 feet, and they can put them away over and over and over again. That's what they did to Ole Miss. They 2-pointed them to death. And tonight they did a lot of that too. What's the reason? How did Auburn win this game? They won this game by absolutely bludgeoning them from 2-point range because JAYLIN was so good, and JOHNI could essentially get anything he wanted in the lane or near the lane. And they didn't have a way to resist it, particularly when Grant Nelson went out. So I think this is an important lesson to be learned here, that Auburn turned the game around against Ole Miss with 2-point shooting and then won this game with 2-point shooting. We were all kind of hopeful that with the addition of Denver Jones, with Trey Donaldson getting a year older, with Aiden coming in, with Chad Baker-Mazara coming in, that their 3-point shooting would improve, and it did. But I still don't think I don't think this team's ever going to be a 3-point shooting team per se. But I do think they have guys that can get shots in twos, and they can still kind of go inside out with emphasis on inside. They're also very good in transition. Tonight they had 26 points in transition and really, again, just ran Alabama out of the gym in a way, which is weird because Alabama always wants to be the team that's pushing the tempo, and Auburn did that to them tonight. So those are the things that kind of stuck out to me. I like the final statistics. Each team has 198 minutes. I don't think that adds up. By the way, I'm drinking some Old Ezra 7 tonight. I gave Courtney her choice of whatever I should be drinking tonight, so she grabbed the Old Ezra 7. I bought this at Grub Mart in Auburn about a year ago. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I bought it for $24. It was on sale. I bought 2 of these. These bottles go for about $80 now. It's a solid bourbon. I don't think it's worth $80, but I love Lux Row, and this is one of their featured offerings, and you just got to do what you got to do. I know I got some super chats coming in. I've got to address those. AFP. I know that my main man, the legend himself, Blake R., from our East Coast Bureau, jumps in with a super chat to start the show while we were still going. Said, I'll get the party started, JGT. WDE. I appreciate you, bro. Let me crank up that applause. I like that tax, man. Bama is the best 7-loss team in America. I knew this was going to be right for some skull dragging on Alabama's part here. Stay hydrated. Cleveland Brown says he's always a great suggester for that, and reminds me to stay hydrated. I did a better job staying hydrated on our last show, bro, because I drank a lot in the Ole Miss game, but stayed upright, so to speak. Proverbially, of course. Feel Like a Stranger, one of our favorites, jumps in with a super chat. Says, Ward Name Eagle, LFG. Word up. Much love, Drainers, Swoogans, and Tate, especially Mama Tate. Appreciate the thoughts there, bro. Shut up, Nate. Shut up, Nate. Broome and Jay Will dominated, obviously. 50 points combined. Huge game from those two. Again, they got everything they wanted. They were able to get the shots, stickbacks. They were just too damn good tonight. And Alabama really doesn't have the defensive skill to resist them in the paint. And this was the case in Tuscaloosa too. And I think Auburn got away a little bit from what they should have been doing in Tuscaloosa. I still believe that Auburn was the better team in Tuscaloosa, but lost the game because they didn't take advantage of the right kinds of opportunities and they got outshot. But I don't like saying, oh, they shot better than we did. Then get better shots. And Auburn did that tonight for sure. I think they learned their lesson against Ole Miss, honestly. Or maybe you could say they learned their lesson against Alabama and Mississippi State, and they applied it in the Ole Miss game. Shane jumping in. We love Shane, one of our most ardent supporters. Says, War Name Eagle, great win. Just hate that it turned into a ref show in the second half. We just whipped that ass, Nate. Too bad for Nate. He lost another one. Again, best 7-loss team in the country, guys, no doubt. I don't know about the ref show. That was a really good group of refs. Some very, very tenured and experienced refs. When you've got two teams, Alabama is always going to get a lot of calls because they're driving all the time, which forces teams, to make difficult defensive decisions, and it's very easy to get out of whack. They're quick off the ball. They go 5 out a lot, leaving the lane wide open, and you've got to do your best to kind of guard them in space, and it's tough, and you're going to get a lot of fouls caught on you. Auburn, conversely, isn't necessarily like that all the time, but tonight they were. This is about as aggressive as I've seen Auburn attacking in the half-court sets. They did a lot of 5-out stuff too, but really it was kind of in transition. The second half, Auburn kept getting defensive rebounds and pushing the tempo like crazy and getting out. KD was drawing fouls. Denver got a foul or two drawn. Obviously, JOHNI, JAYLIN, Aiden got a few as well. So they were Auburn was being extremely attacky on the offensive end, and I mean that's going to lead to fouls. So that's kind of the way it went. I didn't think the calls were crazy tonight. I didn't think it was poorly managed from the refs at all. That's just my take, though. You guys know I'm pretty underwhelmed by refs. I mean, I don't usually blame stuff on them too much. Raven, who's one of our all-time favorites, says, how about the defense from KD Johnson? He was a menace tonight. He was on Sears a lot of the time when he was in the game and caused a lot of problems for Sears. Sears still got some, don't get me wrong, but he was not able to take over the game, and he never was going to be able to take over the game. There was too much defensive attention on him. The man is a menace. Let's see. We matched their physicality, something we didn't do last time. Ward M Eagle fam, let's party. That's my guy right there. Raven loves when Auburn Tigers win, especially when they beat Alabama. Sparrow Empire jumps in. What's up, brother? No message offered, no message needed. I appreciate you supporting what we do here on the channel. Whale Driver jumping in. Does Donaldson remind you of a young Doc Robinson? Interesting. Let's think about that. God, it's hard. I always think of Doc as wearing those really long shorts and stuff. Yeah, I could see that. Doc, I don't think Doc was that tall, though, was he? He was probably more like 6 feet tall, whereas Trey's more like 6'2". And I think of Trey as being kind of a plus defender. Yeah, like a slightly plus defender, and I thought of Doc as kind of a slightly minus defender. But, yeah, I can see that similarity. They're both good dribblers. They both have good vision in the open court, and they're both tough. They both play through injury easily because they just like to stay out there. It means a lot to them to be on the court. So I can see that too, for sure. Good comp there. That's probably the best comp of the players that I've covered at Auburn since 97 or 98. Yeah, nobody else really jumping out. I mean, he has the toughness of a Tez Robertson, but he's a lot better than Tez was. Chris M., you may know him from the bunker as number 19. Love any chance to reverse Rammer Jammer. We love that. They were doing plenty of that tonight, weren't they? I thought the tenor was better inside the gym tonight. I thought the game at Alabama, they got a little nasty and a little loose-lipped over. Hey, I got to get my victory chain on. Forgot about the victory chain, guys. Yes, sir. We wear it when Auburn wins. They got a little lippy, a little profane over there, and I didn't sense that it was getting untoward at Neville, which is what you would expect. I feel like Auburn fans are a pretty classy lot in a general sense. Good folks for sure. T Park, who's been super supportive of us both here and on our Bourbon channel, says Ward M Eagle JGT officially back in this damn thing. Yes, sir. Tied for first now in the SEC, which is where you'd like to see Auburn at this point, and we definitely believe that Auburn has a championship-level ball club at this point and should be challenging for the title and are currently challenging for the title. The issue is that the quality of opponent is going to be stepping up here in the next few games. You can see that schedule there on the left or right, depending on how you look at it. At Florida is going to be a tough one. Florida is a team that plays harder. They play hard all the time, but they play better at home, I should say. And then you got South Carolina, which is, oh man, that's a big game. Did not expect South Carolina to be this good, but they really are, guys. And then you got Kentucky, who's possibly the most talented team in the league. They just haven't put it together yet as a ball club, but periodically they really do, and so you got to take them seriously all the time. Georgia, when they're playing inside the jacuzzi over there at Stegeman, they always get ahead of people. I mean, they had a chance to put Alabama away and just couldn't quite finish. They've had a couple more that they should have put away and they didn't. So you got to pay attention at Georgia. Obviously at Tennessee is a massive challenge. And then Mississippi State is a team that beat Auburn over there. You'd think Auburn would probably beat them here, but that's going to be a tough run, guys, and that's going to be the one that I think defines this conference season, and even probably shapes what you're looking at in March Madness, because it's going to, the way Auburn works through that group of next 5 games is going to determine whether they're a 2 seed or they're a 6 seed, honestly, in the big tournament. CJ jumping in, the offspring of number 19, a.k.a. number 20, says, any day we hear the turds, we hurt the turds. I hope that's what you mean. Or beat the turds. How about Trey today? Hell of an effort from Jay Will and JOHNI. Yeah, those two guys were just, they got everything they wanted. I think Trey has now cemented, stop doing that, Hornatius. Because from the old days, you used to get me on that. Yeah, Trey is definitely, I think, point guard 1 at this point. I know that the way that BP sets up his rotations is flip-flops and everybody's kind of playing, and he works things through and gives everybody a chance. It's very egalitarian, but I think Trey is definitely the guy tonight, and lately he has been, and it's great to see him ascend, because freshman year, particularly first half of his freshman year, he was kind of, I would just say, spastastic, and then he got much better in March. I thought he played great in the tournament, particularly that Houston game. I was like, damn, he's putting it together. This year, he's been, you can see he's consolidated progress, and he's continuing to take steps forward. He's protecting the ball better. His vision's always been good, but he's learned to not take crazy risks. So he's really starting to flesh out and look like a really, really good player. And the fact that he's drawing comparisons to Doc Robinson, who's one of the best to do it at Auburn, is a real credit to the work that he's done, and also that Ira and Corey and Chad Pruitt have done to make him a better player as well. Don't underestimate that part of the operation. Sam H., who's been with us a long, long time, always supportive of what we're doing here on the channel, says JOHNI and Jay will own those barbecue chicken FCs from Tuscaloosa. I love it, yeah. One other thing, people were making a big deal out of what Oates said about the high school gymnasium yesterday. If you read the whole quote, I'd be the first person to jump on him about that, because Auburn's home court has been amazing this year and recently, honestly, the last few years. I don't think he was denigrating Auburn. I really don't. I think he was just saying it's loud like a high school gym, and it is. If you think about high school gyms in like Indiana, Kentucky, where they hold 3,000 or 4,000, and it really does feel like there's 10,000 people in there. I mean, that's what he's talking about. It's a compliment. Indiana basketball, I'm telling you, it's on a different level. I mean, they got gyms in there. High school gyms hold 5,000-6,000. It's part of it. Let's see. Ben just says, "Shut up, Nate." I love it, man. Students had a few cheers in there for Nate Oates today, who is a great villain, by the way. I think he's a great villain. I think it's good to have somebody at Alabama who's a villain. I mean, Avery Johnson didn't really make me feel like he was a villain. He seemed like a Smurf, complete with the weird voice. And then like David Hobbs, if you're going back a few years, I mean, he was just a good dude. I liked him. And then Mark Godfrey was kind of weird, but I don't really think of him as a bad guy. And then if you go way back, I mean, like Wimp. I mean, I don't know. Wimp's kind of a headstrong guy, certainly. Rush of blood to the head kind of guy, but I don't know. Maybe really, some of the more seasoned Auburn fans would feel that way. But Oates, as TPB says, Oates is insufferable. He's a great villain. I think he's a great villain, and I think it's good when Auburn has a villain like that. I don't know, because I think it gets people charged up and it gets people more invested in the series. Not that people at Auburn wouldn't at this point, because this team's so intriguing, and I think people are so happy with the way that Bruce has brought things along at Auburn. It just all kind of plays into each other. But he's tough, TPB. I understand where you're coming from on that. I think he's a good coach, but I also think he's probably a dick. Mobile Alum jumps in. What's up, girl? One of our great supporters from the L.A., we would call it, Lower Alabama. Hey, JG, how you doing? What's our final SEC record? How you like Vontrell King, his promotion? Yeah, that's something else we got to talk about. Auburn, well, I guess you could say Hugh, filled the... I hope you're not messing with me about the audio, but I will turn it up just a little bit. I don't know if you're just messing with me. Sam, I don't know if Hornatius got to. He gets under me sometimes like that. He gets under my skin. Yeah, Hugh went ahead and filled the defensive line position. As you guys know, Jeremy Garrett left or is leaving for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was coaching last weekend, or recruiting, I should say. And he ended up promoting Vontrell, who was his analyst this last year. But Vontrell's been on the field before. He was on the field at Liberty, and then he was at Eastern Michigan, coaching defensive line. So this guy has some experience on the field coaching. And I think when a couple conversations that Hugh had didn't go maybe the way that he liked, or didn't feel inspired by the people he had been talking to for whatever reason, he decided to take more seriously, I guess, the idea of just promoting Vontrell, someone who's very popular among players, who worked very closely with Jeremy last year, and who has a ton of energy. Vontrell ain't no thinking man's defensive line coach. Not to say he's a dipshit. I'm not saying that. But he is a yeller. It's a positive yelling, but it's very, very spirited out there. And I think that's a position, defensive line, where you need to have a ton of energy, because I think that's the toughest, with the exception of quarterback. I think that's the toughest position on the football field. And I think the only way that you can win at that position consistently is to play with a ton of passion. Riven says, why do we keep picking up coaches from an insurance company? I absolutely love that comment. Vontrell King Williams, Esquire. It sounds exactly right. I like to hire Mobile alum. There's going to be people in the bunker who have already come in and said, I don't know who that is, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I mean, look, they have so many great recruiters already on the staff, established recruiters, and they've added a few with DJ Durkin and with Charles Kelly, that you can afford to put Vontrell in a spot like this. And if you've got a good feeling about, hey, I think this guy can become something, he can work alongside some guys like Josh Aldridge, Ben Agamoa. He can learn from Charles Kelly, both as a coach and as a recruiter. And let's just let's home grow some of these guys. If Hugh looks at him and says, hey, I love the guy's passion and I think he's got what it takes, this is a great staff to put a few spots in there and say, hey, man, this guy's going to be younger, but we're going to bring him along. If you've got a whole staff full of guys like that, you got a problem. But if you got a staff full of established guys and a few young guys, I think, to me, that's a good way to do it. You can't be paying top dollar for every damn assistant. You got to bring a few guys along. And I think that's what they're going to do with Vontrell. So I support it. I condone it. As far as SEC record, let's just try to be realistic about this. I'm going to walk my way through the schedule here on the screen. Okay. I'm going to say at Florida's a win. I think it's going to be the first time this season that Auburn wins where it's not double digits. I really think that Florida is just so tenacious and indefatigable that I just don't see Auburn blowing them out. So I think Auburn wins that game. Let's see. I'll just go ahead and write this down. WL. Okay. 1 W there. South Carolina inside Neville Arena. Okay, here's the thing. I think Auburn's going to split the South Carolina-Kentucky. Take your pick. I don't think Auburn's going to go undefeated at home this season. So take your pick on that one. I think they lose one and win one. I don't know if it's the Gamecocks or the Wildcats. I could see the Wildcats. And what a beautiful twist of fate that is, right? That after all these years of BP pulling ahead of Kentucky, right? Because Auburn's really the blue blood now. Kentucky's kind of like yesterday's news. That Kentucky would be the one to come into Neville and feel like they've got to reestablish themselves, or establish something. The irony is just amazing. One of those games is a loss. So I'm going to get 1 win, 1 loss. At Georgia, I'm going to take that as a W. I still think that's going to be a dog fight. Tennessee, I think, is an L. Mississippi State, W. At Missouri, W. Georgia at home, W. So that's 6 more wins, 2 losses. That puts Auburn at 14-4, which is a great year. And that puts you right there is for the title. I don't know, what Alabama's got left or whatever, but 14-4 is definitely going to get you that's probably at least a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, and depending on how things go at the actual tournament, you could really parlay that into something even bigger and better. Appreciate the questions there, young lady. CJ with another super chat says, beat is the word I meant there. Okay, so I was using predictive text on that earlier, sir. Thank you again for your support, as usual. Cum d'habitude, as the French would say. Danny H. jumps in. Bruce Pearl for president. War Eagle. He's doing a hell of a job. It's funny to think that a couple weeks ago there were people in the bunker that were like, I don't know, man. I'm like, never. If you're an Auburn fan, you should never question Bruce. I don't know why you would ever question him. Let me take that back. If you have a specific gripe with his use of timeouts or lack of use of timeouts, hey, say what you got to say. But in a general sense, he recruits at a very high level. He portals at a very high level. He is as good as anyone in the game at psychology of getting his teams playing together, of understanding what kinds of players he needs, what kind of personalities he can handle. And he wins a lot of freaking games. He wins a lot of games, a whole lot of games. So, yeah, I would vote for Bruce for president. Obviously, he would be running on a pro-Israel stance. I think that's very important to him. But, yeah, considering some of these other options, I would definitely consider him someone that could get a lot of votes on that. Cassidy P. has been doing some seriously heavy lifting behind the scenes here lately, and I appreciate you, bro. It says, howdy, Swoogans. How about the fight in Bruce's? Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Diego, what's up, man? I see you in the chat there. Appreciate your effort, bro. And being so supportive. Ben says KD might have rabies. He is a rabid basketball player, isn't he? Tons and tons of passion. And it's great to see him over the period of the 2 or 3 years he's been here to harness that energy in a more, when he first got here, I felt like a lot of times he got negative. And now I don't really see that from him anymore. I think it's positive for him, and I think he just has this joie de vivre. He's more like Chuma now, Chuma was just so happy. And I think KD's channeled some of that. That's really good. We'll be along with another super chat and asks another good question. Appreciate your support, young lady. Says the SEC and NCAA tournaments, what is the ceiling? Well, the ceiling for the SEC tournament is you win it. I think Auburn has a club that could win that. Auburn's got a lot of depth. And I think they can hit you in some different ways. Auburn can slow it down because I think they have the power guys inside to slow it down if they want to, and they also have the ability to run in transition. Chad's at his best in transition, probably. KD is absolutely at his best in transition. Aiden's probably at his best in transition. He thinks he's at his best shooting from 26 feet, but I think he's better in transition. Trey's a very good transition point guard. So, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of upside. I think probably Final Four is the ceiling for this team in the NCAA tournament, but honestly, you get there and then you just see what happens. When you get to the Final Four, it's just you got there. And after that, you just see what happens. She also said, I'm sorry, before I get to Patrick D's big old thing, you need to invite BP and the team to the OBA event. I don't know if that would be their scene, girl. I don't know that. But I will run it by them. I don't necessarily talk to BP as much, but I talk to all the assistants, and I'll see if they're going to be down that way. They might have some fun hanging out, particularly like Chad or Ian Borders. I don't know. Steven might have fun. It'd take him a few minutes, but he would have fun, I think. Patrick D does what Patrick D does, and he drops a big daddy right here. Patrick D, Auburn alum, an engineering guy who's had some setback. I guess his wife had a big setback professionally recently. Been thinking about you, bro. But he loves watching the Auburn Tigers beat Alabama. I'm telling you, nobody loves it more than him. There may be a lot of people who love it as much as he does. Patrick D, a.k.a. Why Not AU on the board. I appreciate you, man, so much. I got to give you a applause for that one. Your support is amazing. And I know you were fired up, man, because they got up in that game and just kind of pushed him down, I know you love to see it. You super, super duper love to see it. Wow. That's a big super chat, you guys. Kanuman says Burgo. Yeah, Burgo's huge. He's a huge part of what they're doing. And I'm really glad that I feel like the people that watch our show here and a lot of the people in the bunker are very wise Auburn people who know they're beyond the box score. They knew who Von Trail was before today, where a lot of people probably don't know that. But I'm glad that people know who Burgomaster is, Mike Burgomaster, who is he's the director of recruiting, and he's also kind of like he probably has another title. I don't know exactly what it is, but for me, he's their chief strategist. He's a guy that knows X's and O's. As I'd say, BP's the only person who knows him more than he does, and BP leans on him too. And when Burgo has a suggestion from a strategic position, BP listens. He takes him very seriously, and I think that Auburn has some great players, and I mentioned earlier that BP is so good at managing the psychological needs of the team. You've got to nurture a guy like Chad Baker Mazar. You've got to nurture a guy like KD. You don't have to nurture JAYLIN. You got to pull more out of him. With KD and Chad, you got to calm them down a little bit. And a guy like Dylan, you've got to. He's so good at just understanding. I could deal with some of these highly emotional players as long as I've got good leadership and some rock steady guys to balance it all out. He understands that. And that's why I think Bruce is so shrewd. I know some people in my business, people would be Hall of Famers in the, recruiting site business or whatever. That's what I know best, who just don't understand people. You probably know people in your own life who just don't understand people. That you've got to nurture certain people, and there's other people you can push hard, and there's some people you can't push hard, and you got to speak their language. PP's a master at that. As good as it gets. Sam H jumps in with a super chat himself, the second one tonight. Appreciate you, bro. Don't understand the hate against Aiden. He's a freshman guy. Well, I think the reason they hate, I'm not saying I agree with it necessarily, because I think your point is a very, very good one, is that he makes the same mistakes over and over again. I think he dribbles the ball too much. I was talking with Duff Diver about this earlier today. He dribbles the ball too much, and he'll run a shot clock down too far, in my opinion, and then they have to get hasty with a shot because he dribbled the ball too damn long. I think he's looking for things that were there in high school, and they're not there now, and he's still kind of getting comfortable because the margins are smaller. Metaphorically is what I'm talking about, but actually, truly, the passing lanes are shorter, they're tighter, and I think sometimes he gets a little tentative about that. It looks like Terrence is with me on that, saying Aiden dribbles a tad too much. I think so too, and he was doing some of that in the first half, in particular. And I also think that he overestimates his range. The numbers are there, though. I mean, he's shooting probably even after tonight 38% or 37% from three, which is not bad. You don't feel like someone is truly a weapon until they're over 40, in my opinion. But hey, you got Trey there. There's a reason Trey's here. Trey challenges him, and I think Trey's better in some ways. For sure. It's a good observation there, Sam. Also, Jackson S. jumps in. So glad we beat these bums. Well said. Got tickets for the at Florida game Saturday. We haven't won there since 96. We were talking about this the other day. D. Lucky, I was talking to you about it too. That's right. I was texting with you and Easterwood about that. We were talking before we talked to Chad Baker Mazara. Some of the reporters were joking about how long it's been since Auburn has won at Florida. And I got on this beat in 98. I have never seen Auburn win at Florida. I've covered several games at Florida, thinking that Auburn was going to win, particularly that year that Chris Porter got in trouble. I guess that would have been 2020. I'm sorry, guys, 2000. Yeah, I thought they were going to win that game. Then they had to start Abe Smith in place of Chris Porter, and you knew how that went. I mean, shoes. That's going to set you back a little bit there. I love calling them bums. It's perfect, man. We haven't won there since 96. Get the W there. We were a lock for top 3 finish. I feel like Auburn's already a lock for a top 3 finish just because I think the team's that good. They haven't done enough yet. Obviously, 8-2 is not enough to clinch that, but I think this ball club's pretty damn good. This ball club, I think, in my opinion, they only have a chance to lose one more game at home, which right there is going to put them in the at least in a spot to challenge for the title. And if you just give them the eye test, they're good. I mean, Auburn's a good ball club. They've got a lot of everything you want. If they're short on anything, you wish they had. Well, I wish that they had. I wish Trey or Aiden was a little bit better shooting the three, because Denver's doing exactly what he did at FIU. It's easy to look at Denver and say, why isn't he doing more? His 3-point percentage at Auburn is exactly the same as it was at FIU. His problem is the 2-point percentage is down 15, 20 points or more, or 15 or 20%. If he shot his twos better, he'd be doing just like he did at FIU, and he was a really good player at FIU. If they just got that sorted out, I think it would be Gucci. Wargle 0008, who's one of the absolute goats on this channel. Love that guy. Says, thanks for the show. Ward and Meeble, massive W. I agree with that. Huge. They had a big, big win tonight, and I think it sets them on a good course here. They are really good at home, so I'm not shocked that they won this game. But Alabama's a good ball club, and you think about Alabama, South Carolina, Auburn, Tennessee really are the top four, and I think Kentucky's going to get in there before it's over with. I do think Kentucky's going to get itself sorted to some degree. They just have too many good players. They have the most talent in the league, in my opinion, but they also have a coach that I think doesn't, I've spent so much time tonight talking about the psychology of building a team from a personality perspective and managing those people. I don't think that Cal has that ability right now. I don't know. He's won titles before. He was great at UMass, excuse me. And he's had some great teams in Kentucky back years ago with John Wall and whatnot. But here in the last 10 years, I think he's lost something. I don't know. Warren C., not to be confused with Warren G., the regulator, but Warren C., we love him. He drops in a super chat. No message offered, no message needed. I appreciate you, Warren. Thanks for jumping in. I don't think I've seen you on here before. So glad to have you here as part of the family, as we call it. Patrick D jumps in with another one. On this guy, wow. He's an absolute stud, man. He's got the hotline number for sure. He can call me anytime. I usually end up calling him or texting him. Oh, here he is calling in right now. That's how you know it's time. What's up, brother?
And what is up, JG?
Hey, thank you for your super chats tonight, man. That's insane.
Well, here's the deal. We got guys on this brain drain that are far beyond you and me. Canoe, man, all these folks that they continue to support it every single time. And that's all I'm here for. The guys that keep coming out every single session. I miss some, I miss others, but you know what, man? I'm about the people that just keep supporting it, and they're awesome. And they keep me coming in, man, every now and then when I can. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate them. And that's what I do this for. And I appreciate Auburn University, of course.
Of course, yeah. You're an Auburn guy through and through. There ain't no doubt about that. And we've been thinking about your wife, too. At least the Tates here have.
Yeah, man, we're making it. We're making it. And, hey, guess what? Hey, nothing better than beating that jackass of a person, Nate Oates.
He is annoying.
I hate that sorry piece of crap. I hate his wife. I hate his family. Of course, I hate the school he thinks he represents. That's a piece of garbage. But to do what our team did tonight, man, they showed a lot of heart. They showed a lot of passion. And I could not be more proud. I'm always proud to be someone from Auburn because it means so much more to me than just a win or loss on the football or basketball, whatever. But good God, man, we just took it to them, and it was never even a game really at the end of the day.
No, not really. I mean, I think the closest they got in the second half was 12 maybe, and that was when Auburn was on a low tide. They kind of came up and beat that ass after that,
It was. The best thing I ever saw. Well, there's a couple of great things I've seen. I think David Hobbs, when we beat the shit out of him, I was in Beard Eves that year when we just blew his ass out by like 40. That was awesome. I think the time I was in Bryant-Denny Stadium when Alabama thought they had this pancake posse of an offensive line, and the score wasn't so bad, but it was a Tuberville year where we just beat them unmercifully physically. And I think it was one of these, like 17 to 7 games or something, but it was so bad for them. This was probably kind of like that. And I loved every second of it because I hate them so bad. And I hope that I just wish they would implode every day. I can't stand their people. I can't stand what they're for. I can't stand the university that they represent. I just hate all of them. And I hope they just die a slow death.
Well, they got skull dragged tonight, brother. Me. They got skull dragged on national TV. So, and
I loved it. And I'm going to get off now. I've said what I wanted to say, but I really want to just come on and say, man, these folks on the Brain Drain that come on all the time, that's who I'm in it for, man. These guys, they support this thing every time it comes on. They're here for every moment, and I appreciate them because they keep it going, man.
They do.
And so that's what I wanted to say, and I appreciate you, and I'm going to go on now.
All right, brother.
War Damn Eagle.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. There he is, Why Not AU. I think he summarized it pretty well, guys. He's getting a lot of love in the chat here. Jester loves him. AU256 loves him. I think he's speaking in a way that I think a lot of people from the Auburn persuasion would certainly understand and support. Hold on, Mobile alum. Just give me a sec here. Don Properdickin, who I didn't have a chance to drop his super chat here earlier, coming in live from Maastricht, Holland. A great family, one of the true royalty families that we agree with and love and support from the great country of the Netherlands. Don, thank you for jumping in for your support of our channel here. And also, Don checks out our show on Thursdays, too, which we'll definitely have some things to talk about tomorrow. Because we got this game. We've got the fact that Auburn's tied for first in the SEC. And then we'll have be drinking some Old Soul tomorrow as well and doing some different stuff like that. I love having Courtney to talk about basketball, too, because she's smart, too. She grew up in Louisville, watching Louisville basketball. She's always been a basketball girl, so it's fun. Mega Tiger jumps in with a super chat as well. Says, JG, I was totally giving you shit on the bunker for no brain drain. Uh-oh. Then I realized you were doing one. Please delete my post. I'll sit down now. Thanks, and WDE. Appreciate that, Mega Tiger. I posted on the board and then I pin it immediately because some people had suggested that was the right thing to do. And so that's what I've been doing. I think some people probably miss it, and maybe you missed it too. There's not really a way. I wish I could pin it and also put it in the regular threads, but I can't. So that's the way I ended up doing it. The rule of thumb, honestly, for a Brain Drain basketball season is if it's not 11 o'clock Central or later, I'm on. If it's a 8 o'clock tip, I'm probably not going to be on because we won't even get started until 11 or 11:15 Central, which is already midnight on our friends in the Eastern time zone. So that's really the rule of thumb. And honestly, with the way this season's going and the way things are looking on this schedule, like we'd probably just finish it out, just doing shows every single week. I mean, I think we got the Missouri game at Missouri on March 5. It's an 8 o'clock tip, but at that point, if Auburn's at 14 wins or something, fuck it, we're just gonna keep doing. We're gonna keep doing shows. I don't care anymore. Just to be smart about it. D Lucky jumping in with a super chat. Obviously, this guy is a pillar of the community. A personal friend of mine, someone that I met through the site and who I really, really appreciate as a friend, a real life friend, because he's just a high class individual, high quality individual. He's also married to a high-quality individual, and he has a whole family of high-quality individuals. It's just a whole story about high-quality individuals. He says, Patrick D letting the chopper fly. War damn Eagle, brother. F the BAMs. Hey, Cassidy P brought up an interesting idea. He said, why don't you play that Lebowski clip that we do when other teams score touchdowns? And I think we probably ought to do that. Yeah. Just because this is our ode. This is, what was it? It was the sheriff, I guess, or the chief of police, wherever that guy was from. I forgot his name now. From the Big Lebowski, yes.
I don't like your jerk-off name. I don't like your jerk-off face. I don't like your jerk-off behavior. And I don't like you, jerk-off. Do I make myself clear?
That's how Auburn people would talk to Nate Oates if they could. Now we've got Mobile alum on the line. What's up, girl?
Hey, what's up, JG Tate? How you doing?
How you doing? What's up, Mobile alum?
I'm doing freaking fantastic. I just wish we had hit 100, but we got as close as we could. 99. I'll take it.
Yeah, let's bang on the walk-on for not hitting that damn free throw. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I know. You are the man, the myth, the legend, my friend.
I'm here to please.
There you go. First off, I just wanted to echo, why not AU is Patrick Duke, right?
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to echo what he said about, it's almost like having a family get-together, right, when you do the drain, because like he was saying, there's this core group of bunkers that get on here every single time or close to it, and we're all here and we're all talking. And Auburn, one of the selling points of Auburn is the Auburn family. And what you do with this brain drain is the embodiment of that man. And it means so much to me, and I know the other bunkers, for what you do, because it gives us a platform to mourn when we lose or something negative happens, but celebrate like hell like tonight, when something phenomenal happens.
Yeah,
and I just want to give you and AA just kudos, because it's, you created this platform, and it is just, it's awesome.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
It's really awesome.
I appreciate you saying that. You're an important part of it too. I mean, it's part of that family you're talking about,
Yeah, man. And I just want to, again, I hope that we get a lot of new faces this year in April when we have our OBA get together. That was just epic. That's the word, man. Epic last year. We had such a great time.
Yeah, that was wild.
That was epic. It was epic. And I really hope we get a lot of new faces that can come, even if it's for, we had a lot of drop-ins. I mean, even if it was for 5 or 10 minutes just to meet, right? Just to meet each other and get to do, kind of bunkering face-to-face, right?
Hell yeah.
So I really hope that we can get more faces down there. But I'm so looking forward to it, man. And I hope so many of our core brain drainers can come. I know a lot of them live far away, but man, that would be so awesome. Speaking to you, Canoe Man, okay?
Oh, he'll be there.
I'm talking to you, Canoe Man.
Oh, we'll get him. We'll get him for sure.
But I just, again, I just wanted to give you a big thank you, man, because, it's a weekday, it's 9-something at night, and you still come on and you do this. And I just really want to tell you how much I appreciate you giving us a platform, because it's just second to none.
Well, I wouldn't be doing shit if y'all wouldn't watch. So it's symbiotic.
There you go.
It is symbiotic.
So what I asked you about, where you think this basketball team can go, but how you feeling about the staff changes with football, about Hugh? I mean, your finger is on the pulse of the program, right?
Yeah, I mean,
how you feeling?
I think it's a step forward, but people like Zach and Carnell are like legends. I think a lot of the people on the bunker think that those guys are like pillars of the community, and I don't necessarily. I don't know. I see them differently. I mean, Carnell's different. Zach, I don't know. Sometimes I don't value Zach the same way that the bunker did. And maybe some of the other guys, I didn't see necessarily that they were superstars the way that the bunker saw them. Carnell's not a good example because I really like Carnell, but some of the other guys maybe. So I like these guys they brought in. I think Durkin gives them a better feel on the recruiting trail, and I think he's a really good coach. Maryland problems aside, and I like Vontrell too, man. I know him, and he's got the passion and the fire you've got to have for that position, and I think he gives a shit. And, I mean, that's about all you can ask these days. You know, I mean, like, seriously, if you got the emotional buy-in and you can go out there and recruit because you give a shit and you care, like, that's all you need. So I think they've done great.
And, you know, I think, too, and I had asked this on your post about him, D-line is our most dire need next year, right, recruiting-wise, right?
Let me think about this.
Is that a fair statement?
Until I feel like there's a franchise quarterback on the roster, I would say quarterback's the number one thing. That's just me, though.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, I don't feel good about where they're at defensive line right now. Like I think you lost Marcus and didn't fit that back really.
Right, and so the recruits that we have for next year, I think you tell me, but I think the fact that he was so instrumental in their recruitment of the commitments we have so far, that had to play a role in promoting him, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. He's got good relationships with those kids, and he's going to have even better relationships with them because he's got the same passion and love for the job. He's a very positive, outgoing, mouthy, in a good way, just energetic, ebullient person. Like those are the kinds of coaches that kids magnetize to. He's going to be good, I promise. He's going to be good on the recruiting tip. Now, is he going to be great at developing players? That's to be determined. Excuse me.
Sure. Well, and correct me if I'm wrong. Everybody that you brought over from Liberty has been a very pleasant surprise, coaching wise.
I mean the attitude. Well, I mean they had a losing record this year, so it's tough. But yeah, I like those guys.
Remember, I said who he brought from Liberty.
Yeah,
that doesn't include Philip Montgomery.
Yeah, that's not Philip Montgomery and Ron Roberts either.
No. But everybody was talking about who's Jeremy Garrett, and now, just as an example, who's Josh Aldridge, and they've both done fantastic jobs in their situation, in their positions.
Yeah, in
other words, I trust you to make a good evaluation.
Hugh had to fight to keep Josh here too. We haven't really talked much about that, but Josh Aldridge won't be here too much longer. Everybody wants him, so. But yeah, he's a stud.
Well, there's the proof right there.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I was just curious, kind of what you think. About, I know we're not even in spring yet, but just kind of the program overall. Is he finally really able to now instill his culture?
Yeah, I think they're making that progress, and I think they're going to be a good team next year. I don't think they're going to be an amazing team because until I see a franchise quarterback, I'm not going to get carried away. I don't think Peyton's that guy, and I don't think Walker's that guy yet. So I don't see it yet.
But So do you think that he should go out and try and get a quarterback in spring?
Hell yeah.
Spring?
Absolutely. He should be talking to every impactful quarterback that hits the portal in the next window. Every single one of them. And try to figure out which guy would work best and go get him. That's my opinion. Because Peyton doesn't do it for me. I like Peyton, but he ain't great.
No. So what do you think about the progress the women's basketball team has made?
Yeah, they've gone from poop to like bottom part of the middle class now. So that's definitely a step forward.
Well, I was, when they played South Carolina last week, Dawn Staley just raved about Coach Harris and how much she's accomplished in her few years here, and was extremely complimentary of her. And I mean, I feel like we're on an upward trajectory. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, it's a little bit slower, maybe, or not as tilted. I was expecting it to be like big time upward trajectory, and it's kind of a gradual upward trajectory. But Auburn women's basketball, and I know a lot of people don't care, but I do, and you do, was in worse shape than the football team has ever been. Like, it was really bad when she took over.
They were bad.
They were horrible.
Awful.
I mean, they went winless in the SEC, and they would have lost 40 more games if they could have. So she's really starting from zero, and they're more talented and they play harder now than they ever did not ever, but last 5 years under Flo. So it was a tough job.
Right.
And she's come in here and done a lot of hard work to get it back to where it's respectable. So, yeah, she's doing good. No problem there.
Yep. Well, I just wanted to call. I hadn't called in a while, and
It has been a minute.
Let you know how much I appreciate you, and I feel like I speak for the rest of the bunkers. The every drain folks to tell you how much we really appreciate you and what you do.
Well, I appreciate y'all.
We really do.
Appreciate you in particular, young lady.
Yes, sir. Hey, yes, sir. So
I guess I'll see
will
you in Orange Beach.
Yes. And, A-Day, are you going to be – how do you handle A-Day? Do you actually go to the game, or what do you normally do on an A-Day? Because my daughter and I really want to come up there.
Yeah, I know. That's the one game I actually go to, so I'll be around.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of dicking around, doing whatever JG does, talking to whoever.
I got you. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much, and you have a wonderful evening.
All right. See you, young lady. Bye.
Bye.
There she goes, Mobile alum, the one, the only. Some good questions there. I like that. Talk a little bit about Coach Johnny, a little bit in there. And talking about quarterbacks or the position of need most in football, which to me is still quarterback. Chip's kind of postulating, is the quarterback room going to be Thorne, Brown, Hank Brown, and Walker White post-spring? Interesting question. Crocky Poo jumping in on the line here. What's up, Crocky?
Hey, Jay, can you hear me?
Yeah, hey, what's up, bro?
I'm driving back home from the game. Me and Bob Mapplethorpe, we had a good time over there.
Bob! Oh, man, what's up? That's some fucking legends in that car. Damn.
I know, dude. That was awesome. Well, Bob's driving by himself. He's going a different way. But
word, okay.
Awesome.
Gotcha.
The only bad thing is we sit over there with Pocket Watch on his area, and you get some bammers over there. So it can get a little annoying, but it gets a lot more fun towards the end.
That's and an Auburn win, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, did you have a chance to hear what Why Not AU was saying about Alabama earlier?
I heard a little bit.
Yeah,
he took a big about how much he hates them.
Yeah, he took a big dump on all of them, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to give a shout out in the game to Chris Moore because he's not getting talked about enough, but he had a heck of a game, especially in the first half.
He fought hard, didn't he?
Stat line, he got 4 boards and 3 assists, and that's what we need out of him every night if he wants to get more minutes.
Yeah, I thought he fought really hard tonight.
So in Tuscaloosa, our guards had a lot of trouble when they would come out and hedge that screen, and it caused so many turnovers. And there's a wrinkle tonight where after they hedged the screen, we flared our 3 up there, and they getting that offense going because every time they flared and caught it, we would get a paint touch out of it real deep. So I don't know what they saw, but Bama had a lot of problems covering that.
Yeah,
and that a lot of people are going to go at Aiden because he had low assists, but I think that was by design to get our threes, Chad and Chris, and even Lior was doing it to get them involved at the top of the key and feed that post in. And it ended up working. Yeah,
it worked really well, didn't it? I mean, JAYLIN and JOHNI got basically everything I wanted.
Yeah, the main thing, though, when they cut down those turnovers, our offense was smooth, very smooth.
Very.
They could not stop it.
So, yeah, I know you're a stats guy. You love the way they're shooting these twos and hitting them at 70% clip, right?
That's our game. Is if we get a mismatch inside, it's game over. I mean, that efficiency is so high between JAYLIN and JOHNI when they're on. You just got to keep beating it. The other thing, past 2 or 3 games that's kind of gone unnoticed is our point guards are getting downhill. Aiden did it first half. The lane wasn't opening up second half as much, so they adjusted somewhat. But Trey and Aiden were finding those lanes, getting downhill, and they were drawing those fouls. If we can get that going, it opens up so much more.
Yeah.
makes that defense collapse.
I was saying earlier, Crocky, I thought this was the most attacky that they have been from the point guard position all year. Like, they were really attacking the rim tonight. And you don't necessarily see that, especially from Aiden, but they were doing it tonight.
Yeah, his 3-point drop down, a good bit. He's probably like 34, 35% now. But he is getting better every game. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of frustrating to watch because he gets those open threes and he's not hitting them.
Yeah.
But his defense tonight was much, much improved. And he was getting downhill some more. So, he's getting better. It's just not 5-star rate, and I think that's why the bunker's frustrating.
Yeah, well, they get a little reactionary, as you know, Crocky. Just a little bit.
I appreciate everything you do, Jay. The show's been awesome. It's given me something good to listen to on the way back.
Hey, if I got your seal of approval, that means something to me, bro. Appreciate you.
Oh, man, I appreciate you. You have a good night, man.
All right, see you, man. There he is, Crocky. What's the quality of this call? Skype asked me. 5 stars. Crocky Poo, you may know him on the board as Crocosile22 or Crocky Poo. Great member of the site. Posts a bunch of really cool statistical stuff, and he's just really, really into basketball stats. So, yeah, that's a good thing. Let me see. I got a text from Henry just a minute ago. I was trying to see what he was talking about. Oh. Got to answer him. Okay, so he was letting me know that he had talked to Bryce Tiller, who is the 5-star, very tall and long wing, who is here. I think we have him as the number 4 player in the class of the next recruiting class. He's here. He goes to school in Atlanta. He goes to Overtime Elite along with Ja'Kai Howard. And he was here for this game, making an unofficial visit. And the feeling in the national recruiting circles is that Auburn has got a really good shot to land him. So that is someone I'm very glad that Henry had a chance to catch him because he was leaving to go back to Atlanta tonight with his family. So that's clutch. He's going to have that story out in the morning. And I'll be very interested to see what he says. That is going to be his second visit to Auburn. He visited during the fall as well for a football game. So that's good. And that guy, if you guys have seen him or seen some of the highlights of him, his stuff he was doing at IMG Academy, and now he's at Overtime Elite, he is really, really good. He has like a body like Horace, and he has a game like Jabari. I don't know if he's a 3-point shooter per se, but he is very bouncy, but he's skilled too. He can shoot the 3. He's really good. I'll just leave it at that. I do have some super chats I got to get to. Canoeman jumped in, one of our channel legends who's been instrumental, really, a critical part of what we've done here. And he's certainly a pillar of the community. Says, love midweek drains, Wardam Commodore. I appreciate you, bro. Canoeman also checks out our Thursday night shows, which we certainly appreciate. My wife and I. Cassidy P., another one of our Thursdayers. He's one of the dozens, the dirty dozens. It says family, talking about, about how this is kind of that's probably going back to Why Not's call about how we're all kind of a family here. And it certainly feels that way. Cassidy P., that's one of the reasons I love doing the show, and I'm glad you guys tune in too. Warren jumps in with another super chat tonight. Glad to have Warren here with us tonight. It says, Dinger is a maker's drain, so sweaty. I don't really know what that means, but I love makers. Sweaty for me means like super fast gameplay in FIFA. I don't know. Which we're all facing these days if you're playing FIFA. Appreciate you jumping in there, Warren. Cassidy P. with another one says, punchable SEC basketball Mount Rushmore. Colin Castleton, I had to look him up the other day. He's actually playing for the Lakers a little bit. Nate Oates, Will Wade. I think he's at Coppin State now. No, not Coppin. McNeese. I think he's at McNeese now. Marshall Henderson thoughts. You have to put Krzyzewski in there for me. That's not SEC. You're right. Will Wade. Will Wade's the worst. Colin Castleton's not on the same level as Marshall Henderson for me. Nate Oates is certainly there. I don't know. Blake says Makers is trash. Also, Midnight Grams, one of our Moonlight Grams. I'm sorry, I can't see the blue as well. I'm kind of old. One of our friends, I believe he's from the Ole Miss side, which we like. Do you think Cal is in trouble with Kentucky? I don't think he can be in trouble. Well, he has a lifetime contract. But he may come to a point where he's just so sick of it that he punts. You know, I don't know. I really want to get to these super chats. That's what happened on that, guys, with that call. CassaDP jumps in with another one. Simo is the college equivalent of the Hustle Award. He is, man. And the people on the board constantly rag on him about, oh, my God, 3 minutes from Simo. What the hell? Nobody got blocked, Ravin. I wouldn't do that. It's just that Simo can't shoot. And he's just... Sometimes he looks a little starstruck, I guess, out there. But he didn't tonight. He was fighting. He always gives you effort. It's not like he's just like lazy or anything, but it's like he's not as skilled as you think he would be considering how old he is and how many games he's played in, but he played great tonight. I mean, for him, you know. I mean, JAYLIN played great tonight. Capital G. But, you know, a little bit different. Thanks for the update. Mobile alum says Mississippi State up 5 on Georgia with 6:24 to go. Interesting game. Kind of two teams fighting middle of the pack there, but still it's interesting keeping an eye out. Feel like a stranger with another super chat says Croc and Bob Maplethorpe on the same. I thought they were going to be on the same line, but they were actually together, but now driving separately. Yes, Simo, the spiritual leader, played with heart. He is an important. If you guys go to practice, you know, you guys may not, even though practice is kind of open, but he's an important part of the team. Of that construct I was talking about earlier, where you have some difficult personalities, and then you also have some guys who are absorbers, and people like Dylan and people like Simo who can, you know, they don't lose their temper, and they can kind of take the little tantrums that you'll see from CBM or from Chad or from KD, and just take it in stride. You got to have that. I got you, CJ. I wasn't trying to. I was just wanting to get to that. I get nervous when I get behind on the super chats. It's just something that's like important to me. I don't know. But anyway, AU256 says Simo had some big boards tonight. You're damn right he did. He ended up with 5 offensive rebounds? At one point he had 5 of the 9 that Auburn had. Let me see. I'm going to the stat sheet here. Chris had 5 rebounds total, 4 offensive rebounds. So at one point he had 4 of the 9 they had. They finished with 15. So 0 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 block, 2 steals, with a plus minus of 0. And, you know, it's not hurting the team. It's certainly not hurting. Raven says the relationship between Simo and CBM is legit. Those guys love each other. They do. Those two guys are just kind of buddies. Two very different people who bring very different things. I had a chance. We all did. We had a chance to talk to CBM the other day, and it's just funny. I was asking him. You know, he's from Dominican Republic, and I was like, "Do you consider Punta Cana part of Dominican Republic?" And he was like, "Yeah, it is, but there's no culture there, man. It's just a tourist trap." I was like, "Yeah, you are speaking the truth on that." Yeah. Let's see. Hornatius earlier said that he likes my wife's boobs. He said that on the chat. I don't know where he's coming from on that one, but here he says more drinking and boobs, less of this nerd talk BS. Okay. Administrative assistant's going to deal with this next time she sees you, bro. You better be careful. It's probably going to be in Orange Beach, I reckon. Hopefully, and Mobile Alum was talking about that. It's the weekend after A-Day, so I believe the date on that is the 13th, but I could be wrong. April 13th, I believe is when it is. Now, it's posted on top of the bunker. I think AU256 was the one that was asking. It's pinned on top of the bunker, and we've got all the details in there. Actually, Chip did that post. And Chip and his wife are playing a very central role in us having this facility and also getting everything together for it. But we probably had, 20 people out there last time, and we didn't promote it the way we're doing it now. So I am definitely expecting more on that one. I don't think we're going to get Ravin, though, which is very sad. But, you can't get everybody. But, yeah, I think people who have already committed, I think number 19, number 20 are going to be there. Obviously, Jay and the administrative assistant are going to be there. I think BP Rockman's going. If not, AA will be devastated. I think Canoeman and Pocket will go. We can probably feel like they'll go. Mobile Alum's going for sure. Hopefully Tony Finn shows up, man. That guy was crazy. Enjoyed that. Pew War Eagle 1 says C923 tonight after win. It's Gouda. Probably talking about Elijah Craig of some kind. Yeah, that would be good. I've been drinking this Old Ezra, 7-year. Which I don't know. You probably weren't on when I first started Pew, but I bought this bad boy for $24.59. I even have the little tag on it. You can't really see it, but bought it at the Grub Mart in Auburn for $24.59 like a year ago, 2 years ago maybe. Now it's like $80 a bottle. It's crazy. CJ says no Ravin. Yeah, I know it's tough, dude. I know it's devastating in a way, but hopefully. Hornatius, of course, has something to say about somebody's wife. All we need is Ravin's hot wife to show up. She is gorgeous, but there's lots of pretty girls. Chip says Tony Finn is next level. Tony was, he wasn't quite number 19 level last year, but he was off his ass in a good way. It was great. Ravin says, are y'all having a drum set at this shindig? JG needs to lay down some sweet chops. Not if I'm sober. If I'm sober, I can play a little bit, but Solo Tigre, I'm sure, would put me to shame. I don't know if he's here with us tonight, but Solo Tigre can definitely hit the skins. Whoa, hold on. I need to say that in a different way. He can definitely get behind the set there and do some... he's like the Lars Ulrich of the bunker. Yeah. Mobile Alum says, I believe Locked In did RSVP. He thinks that Mrs. Locked In will be able to make that trip too, so that would be great. Let's see. Matt H., who is a bunker legend, who's very, very supportive of me personally behind the scenes. I'll just leave it at that. Says, hot take, no bourbon is worth $80 per bottle. Interesting. Dad of 3 girls in the house. Wow, a Montgomery legend himself. Says, just got home, been listening all the way home. Great game, love the show. War Damn Eagle, we love Dad of 3 girls. Appreciate you, bro. Known that dude a while. And speaking of someone who married well, he did for show. $80. What will we pay? What bottles will we pay $80 for at UTax, man? I would pay $80 for Parker's Heritage Double Barreled, which probably would never get at that price. Probably be $200. Bottles that just give us joy, just give us happiness. I've got a Pinhook 9-year vertical yellow top that I got from Bottle Shop that I paid $80 or $90 for. That was worth that. Mobile Alum says Tony Finn did not pass out twice. Did 19 pass out twice? Or did he? I remember him just. First of all, was he passed out? I felt like number 19 was just kind of wobbly, like really wobbly. Hornatius now messing with me the other way. He says, can you turn down your volume, JG? My wife may hear me listening and get mad at me. I know you're scared of your wife. You live in constant fear that she's going to find out that you're actually a turd. Not a Bammer turd, but just a turd in general. And then dump you. But considering the length of time that you guys have been together, maybe not. Let's see. Cassidy P is going to bounce because Eastern time zone, we're looking at almost 11 o'clock, and some people got to work around here. He says, Eastern time, checking out. Be where your feet are. That is great advice. And war damn Brewsketball. My man. Appreciate you, Cassidy P. Thank you for the super chats and also the work you're doing behind the scenes to get the Atlanta bourbon event put back together. Or put together. Well, put back together. I don't know, however you want to look at it. I really like the place. She showed me the pictures that you had sent along of the place that you were talking about doing that, and I think it would work great. Chip notes that number 19 did not pass out. It was simply a bourbon nap. That's kind of the way I saw it. Because, he wasn't so wasted where if I said, hey, 19, he would wake, he would come to and be like, what's up? So, it wasn't out. Mobile Alum says, I have picks. Yeah, I do too. I was so lit that I had a cigarette in my mouth, which is highly, highly unusual. If it's not 1990. But yeah, that was crazy, man. Yeah, I got a picture of me and Hornatius and number 19 on the dock. That's a classic. That's a classic. Yeah. Thanks, Chip, for backing up number 19 in lieu of him being able to do it. Hornatius says number 19 did not ass out. He was taking weed naps. Yeah, he definitely did not ass out. He could have, like, lesser people in that situation would have said, hey, is there a bed I could lay down in? But he didn't do that. He stayed on his feet, more or less, and kept fighting. So I appreciate him for that. Chip says needs cigars this year. I don't have a problem with it, but I better not partake myself. I'll make sure I got all the super chats, though. We had a great night of super chatting, guys. Sheesh, a lot of support there. Couldn't, why not AU jumped in? Man, oh, man, oh, man. Terrence, who may or may not still be here, I don't know, was basically trying to show the receipts that he had said that Auburn was going to skull drag Alabama tonight, which that's a great call. I thought that they would, too. I didn't know it was going to be quite this bad. But, yeah, you called it, bro. You called it. Call Me Biscuit says, who called in one time and abruptly said, I got to go? Was it Hornatius or Bob back in the day? It was Hornatius. It was definitely Hornatius. I think he was doing it as a gag, but I think it was Hornatius, yeah. Again, he lives in constant fear that his wife's going to find out that he's actually a turd, and he had to ask her permission to buy his treep. Like, what a cuck. I'm just teasing, though. He's a good dude. I like him. Plus, if Deezer says the guy's good, then the guy's good, period. I'm not even going to argue about that. Rest in peace, Deezer. Just thinking about him the other day. I went and checked out his obit again. Got it bookmarked. Missed that guy. He's a great caller, great bunker. And some of the things that he did for bunks after he passed away is the kind of stuff that I would end up writing a book about someday. If I write one. It would probably be about something like that 10 people would read, but at least it would be 10 good readers. You know what I mean? It's kind of like me. All right, Mobile alum's out. She's saying night-night. All right. CJ, hit me, man. Let's go, bro. I got it. I got this phone line ready for you, Poppy. Coming in live from the greater Montgomery, Alabama. Raven does correctly note that the man has a commissioned picture of his own house hanging in his own house, which I think is the weirdest thing ever. And Courtney, I ran it by Courtney, and she was like, that's not that weird. It's like, well, you're married to me, so your definition of weird probably is skewed. But I think that's really strange. It's probably more strange than having to ask your wife permission to buy a treat. But that's just me, you know. All right, AU256 has got to go, too. Appreciate the show, JGT. Got to run early morning on deck. Love the Drain fam. Hey, man, you're one of the Mobile Mafia. All right, welcome to the Drain. Is this my guy, number 20?
This is, yes, sir.
What up, bro?
How's it going, JG?
Well, we're just making it happen one day at a time.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. That was a hell of a game.
Hell yeah, it was. You like beating those Bammers, don't you?
Any day we beat the Turds is a good day, JG.
Yes, sir.
Or damn Eagle.
So what's the latest, man?
So, man, 19 drained so hard he's passed out in the lazy boy.
Like currently?
He's passed out currently.
Well, he's got to go to work, man, so.
Yeah, well. So, the story of OBA last year, let's get into that one.
Okay.
Remember? Yeah, let's get into that one. So, we beat Bama in softball. Let's get that one out of the way. He was lit. He picked up just a random Swoogan glass and just drank foreign mixture of groundwater and lit himself.
Yeah, he was like mixing bourbons, as I recall.
He was mixing bourbons, and this man was lit.
I mean, no one's arguing that he was lit. I just think he was conscious. Yeah. Like, he was conscious.
He was definitely conscious, but it took us a while to take care of him. And let me go ahead and say I appreciate you and administrative assistant for that one that night, JG. For real, you guys are legends for that.
Well, we had an extra bedroom. We figured somebody would need that bedroom.
Helping us out with him.
Yeah,
man, y'all are legends, man.
Well,
appreciate the Drain and everything you do, and all the legends that come through every time, man. I'm just grateful to get called one now.
Yeah, you're definitely one, bro, and I appreciate your super chats. You always find a way to tell.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, man. That was a hell of a game. I saw what they were trying to do in the first half to us, spacing our defense, trying to open up the lane, and I was I was hoping our help side would get on there, and we ended up pulling it out, man. Any day, and I will echo my dad this one. Any day we get to do a reverse rammer jammer is a good ass day.
Yeah, he was pretty fired up about that. They definitely adjusted to that, man. Auburn got.
Hey.
Yeah, they
we
pushed
did
him out.
well. I will say JOHNI is a grown ass man.
Yeah, he is. He's a bad boy. He is.
What I've loved to see out of him this year is the improvement of free throw shooting, mostly.
Yeah, every night is 80% or better, isn't it?
Yeah. Remember in the beginning he was going 1 for 2, maybe 0 for 2 at the line, and now he's just straight all net. It's amazing what he's worked on this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe an SEC Player of the Year comes along for him this year. He's done an absolute outstanding job for this team, and I can't ask any more out of him.
Yeah, he's been really good.
I love Trey coming to his own. Everybody's doing what they need to do, and it showed tonight that we can hang with the best of them.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking at Auburn right now, their latest data from KenPom. They're 76.6 free throw shooting. 32nd in the country, so that's top probably 8%.
That's really good, because I remember last year and how our free throw shooting was.
Yeah.
We've had some abysmal years now.
Horrible. But it's definitely picked up here. And it's a big – I mean, like, you think about this win tonight, they were able to put it away because they shot so well at the line, you know?
We shot how many attempts did we have?
40 they were 40 of 50 today.
40, we only missed 10. That's insanity.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Let me go. I'll ask you. I'll go since I'm one of the softball people around. Let me ask you what you think, man.
Well, they're gonna get to a regional because Maddie Penn is so damn good. But
that's my concern. There is how hard are we gonna ride her this year?
Hard, I imagine. I mean, she's old enough now where you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Somebody like Emma or somebody else is gonna have to step up.
We've got to have somebody step up on the back end of there. We can't Kelly Barnhill her.
I know. And I also want to see some more sticks, dude. They need to score more runs instead of it always being 1-0 or 2-1.
We really do. We really do need to generate some offense and do something, because in recent years our offense has gotten stagnant. I'll agree.
Yeah.
I'm with my work schedule. I'm getting to go to 2 series this year, and that's Tennessee and Bama.
Ooh, those are 2 good ones.
Yeah, I picked the best ones to go to, and I'm mixing in. Obviously, I'm going to be at Orange. I'm going to be at OBA. Number 19 is going to be at OBA. Anybody who wants to go, come on. It's a large party. We all have a wonderful time. It's all day. All day we go, man.
Yeah, we're going to go all day for sure.
We go all day, and we go all day and pretty far into the night. It was a wonderful event last year, and I cannot wait to see everybody again.
Word. Well, I hope you bring it, man, just like you did last year. But you got to keep an eye on your dad, though. Unfortunately.
Oh, I'm gonna keep a very close eye on him this year. Let's hide all the mix. Let's hide all the foreign brown water from him.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I already made the joke with him. Hey, at least we're not playing Alabama down there, because then you won't sit there and do what you did. And he was like, yeah, I regret that.
Well, we like him lit. We just don't want him bourbon napped.
We don't want him too bad. Yeah. I will say Tony Finn, I don't know what happened with him, but that was the life of the party. I think he came to the party lit.
And then he left lit, yeah.
Yeah, and he left even more lit. I mean, Tony Finn was next level. And he didn't touch number 19, but both of them were some awesome bunks.
Well, hopefully we're going to have we'll have some fun this year too.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun. It always is with this group, man. It always is. I cannot wait to see everybody out there, and I keep doing what you're doing with the Drain, man. I'm always listening. I'll always be here for it, man.
All right, number 20.
Take
I appreciate
care,
you, bro.
Damn Eagle.
See you, man. Bye. There he is, number 20 himself. I wanted to talk about our OBA shindig last year, which he was an important part of. And, real quick, I just want to Gary had jumped in with a big super chat over here. I was just going to do this scout. Well, I can just do this right here. Gary jumps in. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks, JG, for the brain drain. Just amazing win for BP and AU basketball tonight. Let's hope Auburn can bust the losing streak at Florida, which is I think it's 14 games in a row, brother. Let's hope AU can beat that streak at Florida and come home next week and take control of the SEC again. Thank you for all you do. The brain drain and AU site are great. Thanks for being a part of it, brother. It means a lot to have your support out there, hanging with us, both here and at the bunker. I'll put this back up on the other side, on the other page when we get back over there. Appreciate that. This is the scouting report from Ken Palm as of after the Alabama game. This is, as of the up to the minute data here. And you can see Auburn offense is rated 10, defense is rated 3 in the country. So tonight boosted them up a little bit. And it's a really nice set of numbers, particularly defensively. The 3-point percentage is the one that I just wish was a little bit better. If they were shooting 36% from 3, I'd feel even better. But I guess we're kvetching over little stuff. I mean, they're doing some really, really good stuff in other areas of their game. So it just gives you an idea when you look at something like this kind of data, the set of data that reminds you it's a defensive team first. A lot of their offense is created off of their defense, and that's the way it's going to be. And I like that about this team because defense replicates better when you're in the NCAA tournament. I'm just being real about it. All right, getting back over here to our main page, and I'll put Gary's super chat right there. Also, Hornatius sent me some pictures on the Facebooks of us hanging out when number 19 was having a bourbon nap, and I didn't want to post a picture because I don't want to out you, and I don't want to out him. I don't mind outing myself because everybody knows what I look like, obviously. But we had some fun up there last year, or down there. It was good time stuff. Chip asked if he was telling someone that I had extended the invite to Voodoo, which I have. So hopefully, they kind of work out. I guess their home base is Foley. I don't know how often they're in Foley, but because they got a lot of stuff going on, but. So they're down that way, and Michael stopped by last time. I was hoping to get Jan there too, because Jan's super legendary as well. It's not every day you meet someone who used to be a Navy firefighter, a gal who was a naval firefighter, but she's tough. I don't want to fight her. She definitely whipped my ass. Let's see. Raven says, I had some Voodoo Wing Company from the Florence location before Christmas. That Strawberry Reaper is legit. You better be ready for it, though. You better pack your lunch when you show up on that bad boy. I got put on one of those proton pump inhibitor medications yesterday. So my doc told me that I got to ease back on the spicy foods for a little while until we get this stuff straightened out. So I'm not able to eat the Strawberry Reaper. I ended up having to eat some low spice stuff lately, but it's okay. Blake R. from our East Coast Bureau says, need some Voodoo on the East Coast. They're getting closer. They're in Charlotte now, which is not close enough to you, but hopefully they'll start working their way up toward Richmond and Cambridge, Maryland, and the greater D.C. Ball Wash area. Let's see if they can get up that high. That would be awesome if they could. Let's see. Chip says he's trying to make some wing sauce for OBA that might suck. Got the ghost pepper powder in the mail today. I'm trying to. There's a good rap lyric to that. Just got some in the mail. What's that from? I don't remember. Raven says pre-treat with Tums. Yeah, like a. I like that idea. Before you even start, just go ahead and take the Tums before you even put anything in your mouth. I like that. Hopefully this. I think it's Previs. It's not actually Prevacid. It's got. I don't know how to say the word. Omeprazole or something like. I don't know what it is. Omeprazole. I don't know what it is. That's what I'm taking though. We'll see how it works. Yeah, I think the real solution is that I stop drinking. Is kind of what my doctor was saying, and I was like, well, let's just say that's not going to happen. So what's the next choice? Oh, there it is. Yeah, hits from the bong is what it is, isn't it? Isn't it, Hornatius? I just got an ounce in the mail. That's exactly what it is. Good eye, or good ear, I should say. Or Vince, his wife just said, "How do you know that isn't anthrax?" Chip also knew that. Just got an ounce in the mail. Actually, omeprazole. Yeah, it's Italian. Actually, Call Me Biscuit suggests we call BMAT, and that's not a bad idea. I actually texted with BMAT earlier, and he said he was good to go. I was actually, you know who I was going to call? You know, our secret caller was going to be tonight. Well, I'm not going to say it. I had a secret caller I was going to call, and I ended up not calling her. Which I should have. I think it's too late now, but I had a secret caller. Secret guest. Let me see if I can get B-Man on here, though. Okay, I got to go back through here. There he is, B-Matt. So I think he's good to go, though. We can talk to him a little bit about this. It comes with a breadstick. I wonder if the breadstick would actually help. Probably would, right? What up, B-Matt?
I just got home a few minutes ago. What you doing?
Well, we're just doing a show.
Cool.
People were clamoring for you, B-Matt, and they wanted you to be breathless, but, we'll take you as you are.
Well, if you'd have caught me about 15 minutes ago and I was walking out of the stadium, you looked fast, I would have really been perfect. Yep.
All right, so tell me about the environment inside the Nev tonight, man. It sounded crazy on television.
Oh, yeah, it was great. And really loud. You have to do the reverse rammer there at the end, which is always good, when you're playing Bama. But, yeah, everybody showed up and showed out tonight. The students were there early. It took a little bit for the alumni section to get totally full, but, you got to think there's a lot of people driving from wherever in the state to try to get here by 6. It's not as easy as those 8 o'clock, those midweek games. But it was a great environment and helped make a difference.
Hell yeah. They skull drug Alabama tonight, brother. I mean, that 18-point win, and it probably could have been more.
Absolutely. I thought the end of the first half when they went on that 16-2 run to get that lead. And then, they're up by 14, I think, at half, the same that Alabama was against Auburn 2 weeks ago. Auburn came out in that game and managed to get back and I think tie it, maybe take a 1-point lead for a little bit. But Auburn put their heel down, and Alabama never got within under double digits in the second half. Auburn just played really sound in that second half, and just if Alabama made a little run, Auburn would bounce right back and get that lead out to 16 or 18 or up to 21, I think, and just really impressed. Of course, JOHNI, BROOME, and JAYLIN just dominated inside. Alabama tried to go small to have that advantage defensively with the quickness and to have 5 guys on the floor that can hit the three, and score. But, Auburn did a great job of counteracting that by going inside. And I think listening to Nate Oates afterwards, he mentioned that, they made the decision not to double JOHNI because he's so good at sort of moving the ball out there and then giving open threes. But I think he kind of had some regrets there after what Auburn did to him inside.
Yeah, Auburn absolutely ate him up. I felt like JOHNI and JAYLIN could get pretty much anything they wanted.
Yep, absolutely. And, they're one-on-one, and just about every time they backed a guy in or made a move. JOHNI's got that little quick little inside step he does, which is just almost unstoppable, and they've got really good ball control when they go up in the air. And then that they were really good on the fast break. That windmill dunk that JAYLIN had just was incredible. And I don't know if you saw this, but the 40 free throws made, I think, are a program record.
I did not know that. 40
or
50?
Crazy. 40 or 50. I think the 40 is a program record, all-time record. So that's pretty wild. Although I never really thought – obviously there were a lot of fouls called, but I never really thought it was one of those games where it wasn't still a game, right? It wasn't just a foul fest. I thought it was a real physical game, and I thought most of the fouls were pretty deserving on both sides.
Yeah, I did too. The bunker was saying finally a call that goes against Alabama, but you look at the fouls. I mean, it was pretty evenly distributed. 33 for them, 28 for Auburn. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it worked out fine that way. I didn't have a problem with the way they called it. I thought it was really, really physical, and they just really got after it, both teams.
This is going to be a very important stretch of games coming up now, B-Matt, now that Auburn's tied for first. You got at Florida, South Carolina at home, Kentucky at home. Those are 2 or 3 really good ball clubs right there.
Yeah, and Bruce Pearl talked about tonight. You got to win at home, and you got to steal some on the road. And they stole. I can't really say you stole one at Arkansas. It turns out that Arkansas is terrible, but they did get a key road win at Ole Miss. And Florida is another quad 1 potential win on the road, and that's one they. If you look at their remaining schedule, if you're going to win this league with as good as Tennessee and Alabama, and now South Carolina are, you probably got to go to Florida and win that. Or if you don't, you better win the rest of them. But then after that, you're back home at South Carolina, which I think is 15 in the country now and playing great basketball.
Yeah, they are.
Then you got Kentucky at home, which is, regardless of whether, they got 4 SEC losses, but they're still, 1 through whatever, the most talented team in the conference, I feel like. They just don't play defense for the dang.
Yeah.
And then you got to go on the road to Georgia, which is the most improved team in the SEC, I think, or one of them for sure. Well, I guess South Carolina would be that team, but maybe the second most improved team in the conference, and much tougher at home. And then you got maybe the best team in the conference. If it's not Auburn or Alabama or South Carolina, it's definitely Tennessee.
Yeah.
In Knoxville. And that really, depending on what happens with the other couple of teams, that could go a long way in deciding this race. But then after that, you got 3 winnable games. So if Auburn could get through that stretch, at least within a game of first place, they got a real shot.
Yeah, I like where this team's headed, man. They look good, and the schedule, if they can get through these next couple of games, looks better.
Yeah, and another thing I want to mention is both Pearl and the players talked about the great job that Chris Moore did in this game. And I don't know if anybody's talked about this yet, but if you just look at it, he was 0 for 1 on points, 0 points, but 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a block shot, 3 steals in just 15 minutes, and just all over the floor, diving and stuff. I think every player on that team really appreciated the way he got after it out there. I know Bruce Pearl talked about it too. So props to a guy that tends to be getting beat up on our board a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of times.
He does get beat up on our board, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Played really good defense. Yep.
Yeah, and got some tough rebounds too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. All right, B-Matt. Appreciate you, bro, and we'll get things going for this game at Florida, I reckon, on the weekend, huh?
Yep, that's a big one. We'll talk to Pearl again on Friday before they leave for Gainesville. And also I think we'll talk to a couple of baseball assistants too. The opening baseball game is a week from Friday, so just 9 more days.
Against the hated Colonels from Eastern Kentucky University.
Mm-hmm, yeah, big rivalry.
All right, brother, I appreciate you. Everybody loves you, man.
Hey, man, appreciate everybody out there. Y'all take care. I'll see you soon.
See you, Matt.
Bye-bye.
There he is, B-Matt the legend. Now, they did ask me about the quality of this call, CJ, so I'm going to give it a 5-star, of course, because we love B-Matt. Good idea, Call Me Biscuit. I'm glad you said something. Thanks for speaking up on that. Yeah, we're probably getting to the late part of the show here, right? Let's see. Hornatius is reminding me of the time that his wife called in. I had her call in and question Jay about the random number that she supposedly found in my phone. It's been a minute. I do remember that vaguely. Stephen G jumps in and says, War Eagle JGT. Appreciate you super chatting and jumping into the facility here, so to speak, proverbially. Plus 10 turnover margin. Will win a lot of games by itself at the end of the day. Just another double-digit victory. That's right. 19 wins for the Auburn Tigers, all of them by double digits now, which is pretty incredible if you think about it. I did not think that this game was going to be double digits, and I don't think this Florida game, if they are to win it, will be double digits. But, yeah, it's an intriguing team, Steven. I think you know what I'm talking about when I say that. They've just got a lot of pieces. They've got some tough guys down low that can get you 2s. On the right night, they've got 3-point shooters that can fill it up from long range. They're getting tougher. They're understanding how to play these physical teams like Mississippi State. Florida's going to be one like that, where you've got to get in there and you got to fight. And when you get into the March Madness, when you get into the NCAA tournament, who knows who you're going to face. If you're going to face a rough and tumble ball club like, Ohio State in the first round. Somebody like that. Maybe Northwestern. A rough team. I'm trying to think of like Clemson. You got to be able to adapt to that, because if you don't, you're gone. You go home and everybody's sad because you had a great regular season and you didn't get it done in March. That's why that 2019 team was so important. They could do different things. They could attack people in different ways. I think this team is getting there. I didn't think they were tough enough in the beginning, but they're getting there. I still want to see them play Mississippi State again. I still want to see them play Kentucky. I still want to see them play the South Carolina Gamecocks. And if they can overcome those physical challenges, I'm going to really feel very bearish about, or bullish, or whatever it is. I'll feel very good about what they're going to do in March Madness. Appreciate the super chat there, Steven. It's too bad that Terrence is gone. He had the receipts, too. Pocket watch is 20 more minutes until I'm home. I don't think I can go another 20, brother. We're losing people quickly. But it has been a fun night for sure. And I'm glad that we had an opportunity to kind of enjoy this together. This win over Alabama, a big one, 18-point win, and really just kind of put Alabama away with a really nice run to close out the first half. And it's a good ball club. The Bunker, as of this morning, was still, had some questions about this team, and everybody obviously wanted to see Alabama go down, but weren't sure that they could trust this team to do it. But now they probably feel a little bit differently. Raven says, not discounting us going to Knoxville and getting a dub. Yeah, I wouldn't rule anything out. Auburn can definitely get this done. But, there's challenges. And I think it starts with this game at Florida. It's a tough one. That's tougher than the Ole Miss challenge, in my opinion. Florida is probably about even with Ole Miss as far as how good they are. But Florida plays, Ole Miss hadn't even lost at home this year, but Florida hasn't lost either. And they've lost one, I think, at home, but they played a harder schedule. I like Florida more than I do Ole Miss at this point. I think they're a little bit better. But I might be biased because I know Todd, and he was really good to me when he was an assistant here, and he's just a really good dude. Pocket, who was there inside the arena tonight, says that was the best reverse rammer jammer I ever heard. That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad you had a chance to hear that, bro. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Whale Driver says, as Cliff Ellis used to say, it's never as good. Hold on. Bah, it's never as good or bad as it seems. They recently retired Cliff Ellis. One of the probably the greatest coach in Auburn history until, Joe Lees is still, I guess. Yeah, I think he won 217 games or something here. Blake R says, I'm definitely dozing off. Good night, JGT. And Peeps 5 a.m. on the East Coast comes early when it's already 11:30. Hey, Blake, you hung in there a long time, brother. So I appreciate you hanging with us and super chatting earlier. So thank you, brother. And, yeah. By the way, housekeeping note, I'm going to be on the road for this Florida game that's coming up in a few days. I'm still not sure what that means for the brain train, but we'll see how that goes. I think I can do it on the road if I bring some equipment with me, like my laptop and some lights and whatever else I need to do. I don't remember what. I've done it before on the road. I just hope the Wi-Fi is good enough. That's all. But yeah, tentatively we'll schedule to do that and see what we can do. It might be a shorter show, and it might be a different vibe because I'm going to be in a different place. But anywho, we'll see how that goes. Steven did add, I think it's important that they at least hold their own in Knoxville, and I think they will. Yeah, Auburn definitely holds their own, even when they lose. So, yeah. Solo Tigre, I mentioned you earlier, bro. Somebody was asking about if I could get a drum set to the OBA event. I was like, bro, I'd be an embarrassment compared to you. About to fire up the replay. Missed about 90% of the game because of church. Thanks for the drain, JGT. Hey, if you're going to miss part of the game, that's a good reason to do it, bro. Or Vince says brain jamming via FaceTime. No, I got my laptop, but it's not going to be like this, I can make it look kind of like this, but not exactly. But it's all good. Who gives a shit? It's a big game. I feel like we should do something for it, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think I'll wrap it up there, guys, for real. It's getting to be kind of late for our friends. Just like Blake was saying, the Eastern time zone. I keep thinking about you guys because you guys got to go to work tomorrow. We're working people around here. Hornation says going to be 18 disconnects on the next drain. No. Not since I switched over to this new app new. Been using it for 3.5 years, but the Ecamm app that I use instead of OBS, this doesn't fail on me anymore. So yeah, the next show is going to be our bourbon show tomorrow night at 8:00 Central, 9:00 Eastern. We're going to be it's on our other channel, the Bourbon Blend channel. My wife and I do a show usually with Cuz and Becky from across the street. Usually come and join in too, but we talk about bourbon. We actually lead off with Auburn stuff because I like getting Courtney's opinion on Auburn stuff, and then we look at the standings and all that. And then we talk about bourbon and whatever else. We talked about the worst songs of the 80s last week, which was fun. Raven says the show has come such a long way. Glad to hear that, bro. I remember we used to fail all the time. Or there was a couple shows during the quarantine where I literally went offline like 4 times in the same show. It's like so embarrassing. But we got that straightened out. A big part of it was just getting on a hard line. Second part of it was getting a better computer, which I was able to do due to Super Chats. I got an iMac Pro, which has been flawless and which is still flawless 4 years later. And use a new application for streaming. Fornation says Dentone's mom. No verb, just nouns. I like it. Okay. That's Becky from across the street. Indeed. All right, guys, I guess we'll wrap it up there. I will, again, we're doing the blend tomorrow night on Thursday, and then as far as Saturday, I'm going to try to do the show via laptop and Wi-Fi from an undisclosed location in the state of Florida for the Florida game. So I'll be around, I guess, 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. You know, if we lose it or whatever, that's fine. If not, we'll keep it going. That's going to be a big game, and I'm looking forward to it again. This is a really fun season, guys. A really fun season. And so let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy it. Solo Tigre says Becky with the good hair. Exactly. Little Beyonce reference there. Well done. All right, so I'll wrap it up there, guys. Thanks so much for everybody who's been in. We have a lot of wire-to-wire people who have been with us. Tons of channel legends. In fact, I think pretty much every channel legend was here tonight. Great calls from Why Not AU, Mobile alum, Crocky Poo called in. Number 20 called in. Of course, BMAT called in. I communicated with J-Head earlier, and he had kind of a special work assignment that he was working on tonight, and he couldn't be on the show. He sent his regrets along and emphasized that he would definitely be here for me on Saturday if we need him. So hopefully we'll be able to get J-Head hooked up there for real. So, all right, guys. Peace out. I will see you guys, some of you guys, tomorrow on the Bourbon channel. It's called the Bourbon Blend on YouTube. And then if I don't, probably see you guys on Saturday. Until then, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. I love you guys. Make great decisions out